Hello, you. It's me. And holy crap, it's a miracle. I was watching Night Convos. Their video is called "Shocking Proof: Gypsy's Sick, Partying and More Without Baby for Days." And that seems to be it. Now, we did cover the fact that on Gypsy's supposed to be a day of rest because she's sick with bronchitis or something. And I said I thought it was really weird that she went to the store and bought a whole bunch of stuff to have a spa day when you're sick. Because you'd think when you were sick, you would just want to stay in bed and rest, and get better. And Night Convos, Lovey, was pointed out the fact that, most people, when they have a young child in the home, it's been a long time since I had a young child in the home, but it makes sense that when you have a young child, you'd probably want to go to a doctor, make sure that you don't have the flu or COVID or whatever, which can be very dangerous to a young baby. When my child was a baby, COVID hadn't been around yet, but there was a time where she and I both got the flu, and I ended up taking her to the hospital because I was concerned because she was so sick. I wanted to make sure that she was getting enough fluids and, that I was doing all the things I needed to do because she was quite sick from the flu. And that's all they did is they gave her some fluids. She was probably about 4 or 5 months old at that time, which is why I was so nervous about it. And they gave her some fluids, and then they just said, to watch over her, give her, I think it was baby Tylenol or something, and just, take care of her for a while. The problem was I was incredibly sick as well. So a family member generously said, we'll take the baby for a night, overnight, so that you can take care of yourself and get better, and then you can tend to your child. And I did just that. I slept. I took, I don't know what I took, some kind of flu stuff. Whatever you take for a flu. And I slept. I had soup. And I just stayed in bed the whole day, slept through the night. The next day, I wasn't cured, but I felt a little bit better. And I was certainly more capable of taking care of my child at that point, who was also starting to feel a little better. And so I made sure to go to the store before she came back home to make sure that we were stocked up on all the things that we needed to get over the flu. Okay, that to me makes sense, and I was very grateful that a family member did that for me. But here Gypsy says she has bronchitis or something, and she has a spa day, which just seems weird. But seems weirder is like bronzing and doing all this stuff. Now, maybe this is just a normal thing people do. I don't know. I don't usually do that. Sometimes I'll do a face mask or something just because it makes my skin nice and soft. I like that. But I don't do a lot of this kind of thing. So I thought, well, maybe I'm just being, I don't know. I just don't get it because it's not really my thing. It just seemed odd to do it while she was sick. But then it turns out the next day, and this is from Friday, but on Thursday, it turns out that she went out to some big place with Bree and another woman, and partied on Thursday. So here's a person that was sick, went to the store while she was sick, and then the next day went out with her friends while she was supposed to be sick. And then here, this is Friday, she and Ken decide to go to JazzFest. And it threw me off because she's wearing the wig, the blonde wig. And since her hair had already been like that, I figured she wouldn't wear a wig for that. But who cares? I don't care why she wore the wig. She wore a wig, so what? But she went to JazzFest. Now, Night Convos brought up the idea because there was that person who said that they called CPS and that they got paperwork saying that they're going to start an investigation, or they already have an investigation ongoing, and the call was a legitimate concern and concerned them too. So they mentioned, well, maybe CPS did come. Maybe the child could be with CPS. All I know is that, from what Night Convos said, is that Gypsy said her stepmother Christy was the one who has been watching her child all this time. Now, is it because of CPS? It could be. But could it also be that Gypsy is just a selfish see you next Tuesday? Because that could very well be as well. She could use the excuse that she's sick, but I don't know anybody who has a spa day who works out as well while they're still sick, who goes to the gym when they're sick, who goes out for the evening with friends when they're sick, and who goes to JazzFest when they're sick. She's doing all these things. How sick can you be? Is it a miracle she was cured overnight? I don't think so. Did I know what it is? The spa day that she had, that's what cured her, right? It made her feel so good and so beautiful. She magically cleared up any sickness that she had. That's probably what it was, right? So it couldn't have been like maybe a little sniffly or stuffy because of allergies or something. I mean, who has allergies? That's ridiculous. It couldn't be that. Gypsy, she doesn't have allergies or asthma or anything like that. No, it was just a miracle. She just suddenly got cured and then decided to go out and have some fun instead of take care of her daughter. But that's what she does. She, according to her, left the baby with Christy for a week while she went to LA, her little LA excursion, talking about, how great she is and how all her shows and things are happening, and how she's such a celebrity. Yeah. I mean, if this is true that Christy is watching the baby, whether it's because of CPS, whether it's because Gypsy's just a selfish see you next Tuesday, I don't know. Honestly, whatever the reason is, Gypsy, continue to be a selfish see you next Tuesday. Go ahead. Continue. Because the baby is so much better off in almost anyone else's hands besides yours. Even Christy. I don't know that I trust Christy. I mean, she doesn't seem like a outstanding citizen. But what I've heard is speculation and rumors. I don't know if any of it is true, so I don't necessarily want to speak on that. But we know she's not credible as far as, lying for Gypsy. We know she's done that. So, not the greatest person. But I still think she would take care of the baby better than Gypsy herself. Rod, if he's home, would take care of the baby better than Gypsy. Raina would take care of the baby probably better than Gypsy. Because none of them let's just say none of them display the signs of behavioral disorder that I know of. At least not the one that Gypsy displays. Her anti-social behaviors are concerning. So let Gypsy be Gypsy. It's late, sorry. Let Gypsy be the selfish see you next Tuesday that she is. Let her do that. Because it's just better for the baby. Every moment that Aurora the baby is not with Gypsy is a good moment for Aurora. Now, having said that, she's not going to listen to this, so who cares? If she did listen to this, then she would pretend to be unbothered while she is talking about all the time she's been spending with the baby, because, she always has to prove everybody wrong. Whatever. Those are my mysterious allergies that don't exist. Coming up again. Yeah. It's all ridiculous. But again, let Gypsy, I keep saying it wrong. Let Jip be selfish. Let her do that. Let her stay as far away from that little baby as possible, because it's just safer for the child. And she's obviously leaving the child with someone. She's not just taken off, thank God. So at least the baby is safe and taken care of. And that is way more than what Gyp can do. We know that. We've seen it. It's very disturbing. So think of this as a plus. Do we dislike Gypsy? Sure. Because of her terrible actions. Her actions are disgusting and despicable and make her the monster that she is. But thank God for Aurora the baby. She has a little peace away from Gypsy. That's a good thing. Keep that going. Maybe we should encourage Gypsy to, I hate to say it, but go back to LA where she can pretend to be celebrity some more. I don't like her being in my backyard, but at least she would be away from Aurora the baby. That's a good thing. It really is. I hope this continues. Let her selfishness propel her to go out and to do things and to do more trips with Ken without the baby. Because that's just beneficial for the baby. I just want that little bundle to be safe and sound and have every chance and opportunity to grow up to be an awesome person. And even if, God forbid, that poor little baby is raised by Gypsy, she will be harmed by Gypsy. At least mentally and emotionally, if not physically. I don't know. That's not facts. That's my thoughts. But it doesn't mean that she wouldn't come out of it as a better person, a better human being. She could still turn out awesome, because so many people do. But I, for one, and I'm sure you as well, would much rather she not have to go through any of those traumas and just be allowed to be a sweet little baby, a sweet little toddler, a sweet little child, a sweet teenager, as much as teenagers can be sweet, and grow up to be an awesome person. I just really hope the best. So Gypsy, be as selfish as you like. Be as selfish. Stay at the JazzFest till the 4th when it closes. Stay there the whole time. Go on a vacation. Go to Florida. Go to, when you're off your parole, go to Europe. Go do whatever you want. Stay away from the kid. Kid doesn't need you. Anyway, that's my opinion. Tell me what you think about it. Because her being away from the baby, as much as it's difficult for Christy or whoever is taking care of that baby, it's so much better for the baby herself. Don't you think? I don't know. You tell me what you think. Anyway, thank you for listening. And that's all I got to say.